I have grown old. Why you may say so. What do I have here? Well, exactly because what I have here. This is a very old jet. Well, I mean not the jet, but really the airline itself. It's already bankrupt, but yeah, you can tell from the box it's an old generation Phoenix. They had this rivet metallic panel box, whatever. So yeah, so today, and a lot more added on stuff in there, but anyway, today I'll be reviewing the Valuair A320 made by Phoenix. I think around the year 2002 to about, yeah, 2010 I think. Wait, no, 2002 to 2013 I think. I don't know. I only know that it's did by 2002 and was shipped by Gemini Jets. Actually, yeah, Gemini Jets made it, but then Phoenix just used them more. Anyway, so let's get diving in. Okay, so long story short, Valuair was created by high rank of Singapore Airlines, and they wanted to be like JetBlue, you know, low cost, not no frills, has frills. You know, it was like JetBlue, you know, it had IFE, you know, it had meals, but it was offering lower prices than airlines like Singapore Airlines, or for JetBlue's case was American, United and Delta. Now in the end, obviously because of Asia's competitiveness and a lot of Asians being thrifty, you know, many people, you know, preferred, you know, and even because such regional flights, right, were mostly overserved compared to in the US, where, you know, places were underserved here and there, which allowed JetBlue to open routes connecting passengers to other high domestic routes, which will allow for better flow, right? In Asia, a lot of them is already very connected, you know, so, you know, to many cities like Xiamen, Chengdu, you know, it's only the small regional counties that don't really have that. In fact, you know, in places like Sichuan province, but those are things that because they're too big. But most regions have at least one airport, so it's mostly already overserved in certain places. So for Valuair, the thing was that, you know, it was in a market where it's overly competitive and overserved, you know, especially with the launch of Qantas's low-cost low-cost carrier Jetstar being in the Asian market as Jetstar Asia, registered in Singapore, and Singapore Airlines starting up Tiger Airways. It led to the downfall of Valuair, which in the end was acquired in 2005, 1 year later, by Jetstar Asia, and in the end, the delivery continued on until 2014 when all was repainted. So yeah. So anyway, the box style is very unique to early generation Phoenix boxes, which is the fact that it is they had this riveting sort of plate, you know, in there. Yeah, and then you got your standard limited edition. It's what they say in every Phoenix model. You don't have to actually believe what Phoenix says, because everything also has a production run, everything has a release and time. Not everybody can be producing all on the same production line all at once, you know. Your shoes like Nike Force One, you know, you got your BMW 3 Series, they are all produced for certain years, certain models, certain timelines. So everything is limited edition. So to consider as limited edition, I would suggest that anything that has serial number inside the box should be considered. This one doesn't. Moving on, you put your clip art, airline name, aircraft type, logo, country registered, it's Singapore, Phoenix logo, 400 scale. Now fun fact, 232 means that it's powered by IAE V2500, which means it's looks like a Rolls-Royce Trent 700. Very small diameter, looks very thin and narrow compared to the bigger CF6s that you see, or even the CFM56, you know. So yeah, and then you've got clip art and Phoenix, oh yeah, and because it's Singapore, it will start with 9 vector, country flag, 9 vector, vector Lima Alpha as the registration, 232 Valuair. Same side, on the back, old Phoenix logo, your typical warnings, made in China as usual. And now we'll move on to just taking it out. So right side, right side come out, Nothing special because it's an old Phoenix, what would you expect? But definitely, yellow box from, you know, being so old. Yeah, definitely. Now, just to give you a fun fact about the aircraft itself, Victor Lima Alpha, it was leased from BOC Aviation. Obviously, before that, it was called Singapore Aviation Leasing Enterprise, also known as SAIL. But anyway, yeah, it was acquired, but it was delivered in 17 March 2004. It's again powered by IAE V2500. Configuration was 162 in economy seating when it was with Valuair. When it was transferred to Jetstar Asia following the merger, it was in 2010, repainted and everything as well. It was given 180 economy seating, or economy 180 seat seating, and it was bought in May 2013 by DVB Bank, which then leased it out to Anadolu Jet, which also failed. I think that one, Anadolu Jet. I think that one is defunct already, if I'm correct. Oh wait, no, it's the... Is it? Give me a sec. Yeah, I think Anadolu Jet is still around. It's just it's flying 737s nowadays. It leases it, I think, in the peak season. I think it was for a while. Yeah, 2nd June 2013 to 2nd November 2013. So yeah, then it obviously was taken over by Turkish Airways, which had a economy business seating of 162. What would I say? It was still leased from DVB. Was actually instilled the 180 economy seating until March 2014. Then it was withdrawn from use in 2019, and it was converted to business economy 162 seats in 2014. Then in the end, it was supposed to go to Sky and Core Airways, being leased from DVB Bank. So obviously it was returned to Leicester in 19 August. Was supposed to go for Sky and Core Airways, but then, you know, it didn't want. So in 20th of Feb 2020, it came back to DVB Bank itself. Was stored at, if I'm reading this correct, a Dutch airbase called Wowensdrecht, Wowensdrecht, from 24th Feb to 19 August 2020. Obviously, the pandemic was already halfway through that, and then it was stored then at a Spanish airport called Ciudad Real Central Airport, 19 August 2020 to 19 Feb 2021. Then it was stored again at Kansas City in the States from 20th Feb to 5th of June 2021, so that was quite recent. Then it was supposed to go for Vamos Air in Spain, not taken up again. It was reconfigured to, yeah. Then it goes to ITA now, and it was delivered on 6th June. Yeah, ITA Transportes Aéreos. It's a very beautiful yellow livery. I really like that. I mean, yeah. It's configured on 168 economy free configuration. That's a long stretch, man. That's a long stretch. I mean, what a crazy list, but it is what it is. That's what happens when, you know, aircraft is owned by lessors. They go through a very arduous process and everything. So like, not arduous, like they leased out a lot, you know, here and there. Even short-term leases like Vamos and Anadolu Jet. So yeah, this is a yellow slightly go box. You got a plastic wrap. Oh, Phoenix had a plastic wrap on the nose. If you've seen my Tupolev 154 video, you also see that it actually has it. So yeah. Anyway, let's go and take it out. So, like we said, nose gear protection. Other than that, there's nothing. I'm just gonna put this back on to keep, because I want to keep the box. So yeah, we've got our basic model here, and then we need to get our trusty. Well, if you can see it. If not, I'll just get my trusty pad. Why do I keep hitting my camera? A320. Oh wait, by the way, all A320s are 200s. 100 was about, I think, less than 100 produced. All were retired by early 2000s. So, you know, before the 2000s. So yeah, A320. Never specified the 200, but yeah. So we're gonna put this here. And zoom. Yeah. Beautiful livery. I think I actually like the livery because it's a very nice shade of green and blue, and well, I was one of the first few airlines to introduce the colors, whereby the tail, you know, they have the livery swoop down all the way to the fuselage, which was really rare at the time. I mean, you can see such an example from obviously Lufthansa, the newer colors. Yeah, those are actually quite nice. It actually feels like it actually blends with the shape of the body, I feel. And the blue is really beautiful considering Singapore is, well, an island nation surrounded by sea. The blue represents it really well. Also, to take it to the skies, green, well, Garden City is the code name for Singapore, so the green would represent the grass or the greenery. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, we'll move on to more about the this is about the livery. Now we got to move on to our mold. Okay, so this is gonna be before Phoenix started producing their own mold. So this was a Gemini Jet / Phoenix mold used in 2002, 109 times including this one right here. So it's a pretty decent attempt, although it's a bit old compared to nowadays, definitely. Yeah, the nose is a bit it's good lah. I mean it looks good. I mean, it's just a bit off. I think that definitely here the indenture should be a bit more so we can get a better shape from this angle. Because you can see right now it's a bit of like a Dreamliner angle, but if you put it in a certain angle, actually again looks like an A300, so that was a bit sus, but or even an A310 in my opinion. But if you get the angle correct, it looks like an A321. And I mean, Phoenix, this is the only Valuair model, I think. Like, Phoenix was the only one to make Valuair models, so what can I say? Like, it wasn't licensed, like this wasn't like commissioned by Valuair. Like, they just did it as normal, the nose gears obviously wasn't as detailed as now, but I mean, it was a good try considering, again, it was 2000, in the 2000s, early 2000s. The gear actually looks a lot better than the Dragon Wings models, you'd see. Just a bit too high, I think, for my opinion, We move on to our wings. The fuselage seam is a bit, it's a bit, again, sus. You can see this is something that Herpa will always do in their 500 scale models. If you've seen my A321-200 in the Deutschland Luftwaffe livery, you can see it's actually a belly wing. So it's essentially the wing box, gear, and engine would be and the wing be attached to this one big piece, which would then be glued upwards to the fuselage. So this is what obviously it wasn't a very nice seam, but obviously it was a lot better at the time to glue it as such. So I don't know. I mean, it's an Omo, what can you say? I mean, as long as they moved front from it. But it did produce a nice seamless at the front, but then obviously moving underneath was an ugly sight to see. But I mean, it was 2002 again. What can you say? Technology was yeah, the undercarriage legs look a bit simple. I think, yes, it's a bit simple, but I think that it was good enough for the time. At least it fared better than Dragon Wings, and like I said, just the nose get a bit too high. Yeah. So that's it. I think really. Overall, everything else they got really well, I think. Oh, yeah, I'm starting to see it. Overall, it was good. They've got the really nice Valuair wingtips right there. Really beautiful. Then you've got your livery, Singapore flag, valuair.com.sg, branding, escape slides. You've got IE V2500s, and then there's no aerials on this because the aerials weren't invented back then. They didn't know how to implant it. I think that was one of the key reasons. Then obviously you can see there's the holes for the radomes, I think, or set the antennas. I'm also confused because they didn't have aerials back then. But at least the white on the gear looks a lot nicer than the silver that the Gemini Jet's mold version had. The gears, the wheel hubs are decent try. I mean, although I will take notice to you guys, I will a word of caution here. So it looks a bit fat in the middle, but overall the wheel hub looks a bit okay. Definitely looks a bit more chubbier than a normal tire would, but it looks nice. Word of caution, these are actually like plastics filtered on, so like if you see some that actually like have a split in the middle, they will actually roll a bit, so you got to be really careful. My best advice would be just to push it together, push it together, glue a bit, release your hand, and then try and keep the glue there. Best to use a cyanoacrylate, a glue that will harden really easily but won't destroy the paint. That would be most advisable, but I don't think so. For me, I use cyanoacrylate. It's really good. So for me, obviously. And then you have your wings. The wing shape looks good, really good. IV2500s are sitting on there really well. Although looks a bit weird that it's a bit low. I mean, definitely you can see that it's quite low if you don't notice. Yeah, I can barely fit my knife in there before tilting it up. So, but I mean, yeah, definitely there's a bit of a problem. It should actually be a bit higher. I think about by 1 or 2 millimeters. Cause by right I should be able to fit. Because if not, how can a 737 engine actually have my knife go through like about this long before like having actually a issue with it being too short? So definitely this was, I think, one of the bad things in the past. You see, it doesn't have as much engine clearance as the 737, which is really a sign that says, because the 737 actually in real life has actually one of the lowest ground clearances. So for an IV2500, which has a more narrower engine nacelle, it's completely like bruh. I mean, again, what can I do? It's an old model. I cannot tell finish anything. I mean, this is just what it is. I mean, definitely, if you are very avid Singapore F geek, then it's worth buying this, I think. Definitely, but if not, if you're just interested in like Asian aircraft that are really hard, really rare to find, this Valuair is really good. That's really beautiful. Really beautiful. I mean, look at this. It's like, the livery is Euro white, yes, but it produces its own sexiness in one way or another. The smooth slowing lines, simple branding really makes the aesthetic really beautiful. So to sum up, not the most impressive, 6 to 7 out of 10, but for the fact that they're not gonna do it anymore, or there won't be a chance of re-releasing, I mean, there's nothing I can say. It's just no choice. But I accept that fact, and it's a Valuair. I keep it. So I mean, I like it. So yeah. If not, that's it. See you guys next time. And then if you do like this, again, like it. And if you want more like Singapore Airlines, Singapore Aviation aircraft, or even just Asian 1400 scale aircraft, I think you should subscribe to me, because I have a ton, So there. If not, I'll see you guys next time, and zoom over to the montage.
Back in the days we wanted everything, Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars but I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a time but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Honey, walk the fire for you, just let me adore you. Hands are shaking just to let you know that you've got a higher power. Singing every second, dancing every hour.
Millions of families suffer every year.
A higher power.
Oh, that's funny. Michael!
Every time I'm leaving on you, you don't make it easy, no. Wish I could be there for you. Give me a reason to. Every time I'm walking out, I can hear you telling me to turn around. I'm fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. All my brothers got that gas and they always be smoking like a rock star.